A sales team I worked with cut their proposal turnaround from 5 days to 4 hours using AI. Impressive, right? Until the client called and said, "Hey, this proposal has our competitor's name in it." Twice. 4 hours, two wrong names, one very awkward phone conversation. Today, AI for speed or AI for accuracy. Let's figure out which one actually matters. Welcome to Binary Business. I'm Will Guidry. Every episode, we take a real business decision, strip out the noise, and run it through a binary filter. Because the best operators don't chase perfection or panic for speed, they pick the right one for the moment. Let's get into it. Here's what nobody wants to admit. Speed and accuracy are not best friends. They're barely on speaking terms. Every team says they want both. We want AI to be fast and accurate. Cool. I also want to be multilingual and lactose tolerant. Sometimes you have to pick. The real question isn't, can AI be fast and accurate? Sure it can, eventually. The question is, when you're deploying AI today with real constraints, real budgets, and real consequences, which one do you optimize for first? Because the answer determines everything. Your architecture, your workflows, your review layers, your risk exposure. Speed-first teams ship fast and clean up later. Accuracy-first teams ship slow and wonder why nobody uses the tool. And here's the part that trips people up. Different departments in the same company need different answers. Your marketing team, speed wins. Your compliance team, accuracy, or you're in court. So let's break down both sides and figure out when each one creates real leverage. All right, here we go. Two paths. One, optimize for speed. One says speed is the priority. So get the output fast, iterate, and fix as you go. Here's why this is compelling. In most businesses, the cost of delay is invisible. Nobody tracks how much money you lost because a report took 3 days instead of 3 hours. Nobody measures the deal that went cold because your proposal sat in a review queue. The cost of slowness doesn't show up on any dashboard. I worked with a logistics company that was manually building route optimization reports. Their operations manager spent literally 4 hours every morning creating these. 4 hours. By the time the routes were planned, half the day was gone. They deployed an AI tool that generated those reports in 12 minutes. Were the reports perfect? No. Accuracy was about 85%. But here's the thing. The old manual reports were only about 90% accurate anyway. The human was making mistakes too. He was just making them slower. So they gained back 4 hours a day at a 5% accuracy trade-off. That's not a loss, that's leverage. Speed first works when the cost of delay exceeds the cost of errors, when errors are cheap to catch and fix downstream, or when you're in a competitive market where first mover advantages matter, or also when the current process is already imperfect anyway. Binary Zero says accuracy is the priority. Get it right the first time because the cost of being wrong is catastrophic. And for some teams, this is not optional. This is survival. One financial services firm tried using AI to generate compliance reports. Speed was incredible. They cut reporting time by 70%. Leadership was absolutely thrilled. Champagne was practically being poured by the gallon. Then the SEC found 3 material misstatements in a quarterly filing. Nobody was pouring champagne to anyone at that time. They were pouring over legal documents. The fine was 6 figures. Reputational damage was 7. And the compliance team? They now manually review every single AI output before it goes anywhere, which means the time saved got eaten by a review layer that didn't exist before. They optimized for speed in a context that demanded accuracy, and the bill came due. Accuracy first works when errors carry regulatory, legal, or safety consequences, when there's no downstream check to catch mistakes, or when trust with clients or stakeholders is fragile. Also, when the domain is high stakes and low tolerance. So let's take a quick pause. If you're getting value from this, hit that subscribe button and drop a like. It takes 2 seconds and helps other operators find this show. All right, let's get back to work. Let's run this through the ABCD framework and see where speed and accuracy actually land in your business. A is for audience. Who's using the AI output? That's your answer key right there. If your audience is internal, your team reviewing drafts, generating first passes, or brainstorming, speed almost always wins. Why? Because there's a human checkpoint built into the workflow. Someone's going to review it anyway. Think of a marketing team using AI to generate email subject lines. They can test 12 variations a week. The accuracy of any of those individual subject lines don't matter because they're split testing everything anyway. Speed means more tests means more data, and more data means better decisions conceivably. But if your audience is external, like clients, regulators, patients, the public, accuracy has to lead because the person consuming the output doesn't know AI made it. They don't care. They will absolutely notice when it's wrong. One real estate company used AI to generate property descriptions. Fast? Absolutely. But one listing said a house had ocean views in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, ocean views. I used to live in Dallas. The closest thing to an ocean view is the fountain at North Park Center. So before you pick speed or accuracy, ask who's seeing this output and what happens when it's wrong. B is for build. Now let's talk architecture. How you build determines what you get. Speed-first builds look like lighter models, fewer validation layers, asynchronous processing, batch outputs with spot checks. You're optimizing for throughput. Get more out of the door, review a sample, and course correct. Accuracy-first builds look like heavier models, multiple validation passes, confidence scoring, human in the loop at critical decision points. You're optimizing for precision. Every output gets scrutinized before it moves forward. Here's the trap, though. A lot of companies build accuracy-first systems for speed-first use cases. They put 3 layers of review on internal draft generation. Nobody uses it because by the time the AI output comes back approved, they could have just written it themselves. I call that the bureaucracy bot. Congratulations, you've automated the DMV. The build has to match the use case. If you're building for your sales team to draft outreach emails, you don't need the same validation pipeline as your legal team reviewing contracts. C is for convert. How do you get people to actually use this thing? Because here's the dirty secret. The best AI systems in the world are useless if nobody uses them. Speed converts faster, period. When people see instant results, even imperfect ones, they start using the tool. Usage creates feedback, and feedback creates improvement. It's sort of a flywheel effect. I've seen accuracy-first deployments where the tool was technically superior. The outputs were pristine, and adoption was like 11%. Why? Because it took 45 minutes to return a result that people needed in 5. One company literally called their AI tool the waiting room. That was the internal nickname. That's how you know you've lost. But here's the flip side. If you ship a speed-first tool and the outputs are consistently wrong, adoption dies, not slowly, overnight. People will give AI 1, maybe 2 chances after that. It's branded as unreliable, and you've spent 6 months trying to rebuild trust. So the conversion question is, which failure mode can you survive? Slow adoption from a tool that's too slow? Or fast rejection from a tool that's too sloppy? D is for deliver. How do you actually sustain this over time? Here's a recommendation, and it's not a cop-out. It's a sequence. Start speed first for internal use cases. Get adoption, get data, get feedback loops running. Use that data to improve accuracy over time. Start accuracy first for external, regulated, or high consequence use cases. Accept slower adoption. Build trust first. Then optimize for speed once the accuracy floor is established. The mistake is applying one philosophy everywhere. Speed everywhere creates chaos. Accuracy everywhere creates shelfware. Think of it like a dial, not a switch. Every use case has its own settings. Map your top 10 AI use cases. For each one, answer 2 questions. What's the cost of a wrong output? And what's the cost of a slow output? Whichever cost is higher tells you which one to dial in first. Here's the call on this one. Speed and accuracy aren't opposite. They're priorities, and priorities have a sequence. If you're deploying AI for internal workflows where humans review the output, lean toward speed. Get throughput, get adoption, improve accuracy with real data over time. If you're deploying AI where the output goes straight to a client, a regulator, or the public, lean toward accuracy. Accept slower adoption and build trust first. And if someone in your organization says, we need both equally, that's not a strategy. That's a wish. Make them pick. Make them defend the pick. That's where your clarity lives. The scorecard question is, does your AI priority create leverage or does it create risk? If you're optimizing for speed in a high consequence domain, you're not moving fast, you're moving reckless. And if you're optimizing for accuracy in a low stakes environment, you're not being careful, you're being slow. And slow isn't safe, slow is expensive. So grab your free binary decision scorecard. The link's in the description. It's the same decision filter I use with clients to separate speed plays from accuracy plays before they spend $1. And don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next episode, change culture or change tools first? That one gets heated. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you next time. This is Binary Business. All signal, no noise.